One way to do it, crack your egg. And then all you'd have to do is just grab your yolk. Just like that, okay? Whatever works though, you could actually just run it through your fingers. Reserve your egg whites, you could use it for something else. We'll place that in the bowl. Then we'll add a little bit of water. This is for the sabayon. Now, as far as your whisk, it's better to use the thinner. These are actually called tines, these little wires. So the thinner the wire, the better. These things come in different gauges. Some are thicker than others. So thinner is going to be better. You get a little more springing action. All right, and so what you want to do is you basically want to get this going by double by volume. As you can see, I got a towel. This kind of protects it somewhat. You got some hot water, and basically that hot water is going to cook the eggs. But at the same time, we want to whisk it up. The idea here is so that we have basically almost doubled in volume, and then also we want to make sure that we're able to form, again, I'll be able to use the whisk to form a ribbon, and it should sustain slightly and then dissolve. As you can see here, we're not getting that, so we just got to continue to whisk. Okay, so I've been whisking about 2 minutes. So here you go. Now the sabayon basically cooks the eggs. Again, as you can see here, I've got somewhat what you can call a ribbon. So you can actually make a ribbon. And from that ribbon, that kind of tells you it's done. So you see how it holds for a minute and then it dissolves. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. You've got that ribbon going. Hopefully you can see it. And it dissolves and you're ready. So now you're going to get your butter. And again, we're talking about warm butter, not hot. Now we've got our sabayon made. Now, you guys are going to pair up. I'm going to go solo. So one way you can do it if you're going to do it by yourself is you can get a damp towel. Let me just show you here. You roll this towel up. This will kind of stabilize the pan so it's not moving. So you'll basically do this number. You'll make like a little, and then you can keep it from moving. Okay, at this point we could add our lemon. I'll go ahead and add the lemon. You could do it at any time, but preferably at the beginning. This way you can get the consistency you want. You don't want it to be too thick. Obviously, sometimes if you add too much butter at one time, it could be too thick, and then it can break. So we'll add our lemon, and this is our basic hollandaise. And then usually you'll use some cayenne. We'll use, you can use Tabasco or hot sauce. So I'm going to add a little hot sauce to it. And then of course it thins it out. And then that butter will thicken it back up. So you can see I've got this little, and this will keep it stable. So if you're doing it by yourself, you can do it that way. So again, slowly, now you can ladle it in. I'm going to have squirt bottles for you guys, so it'll make it easier. So we'll have you guys use squirt bottles. You can squirt them in, streaming in slow, okay? So we're going to go ahead and add the butter. We'll get this rolling. And add the butter slowly, not too fast or you'll break it. And make sure you're doing it where you're whisking. You don't want to put butter on this side while you're whisking on that side, right? You want to make sure that you're constantly whisking, keeping it together. It'll begin to thicken. Okay, so we're just put the finishing touches on this. So again, roughly about 8 to 10 ounces. And this is the finished product. We want to taste it and then season it. So we just need to add a little salt to it. And again, you can see that it's nice and thick. This is what we're looking for. And we are spot on. So we can have, so here's some variations here. You can actually add some tarragon. And then by adding the tarragon, you're going to get a béarnaise. So if I add a little tarragon to this, we have what we call a béarnaise sauce. If I added blood oranges to this, then we'd have a Maltese. If you add tomato, you have a Chiron. So you have very different variations. So your mother sauce is a hollandaise. By adding the tarragon, we now have a béarnaise. If I added tomatoes, it'd be Chiron. If I added blood oranges, that would be a Maltese. And those are your derivatives for these sauces.